Hey everyone, Aaron from TrailLight Explorers back at Sally Brown Crutcher Nature Preserve. Today I'm going to hike the Crutcher Loop Trail. Crutcher Loop Trail is a 2.22 mile hike with a total elevation gain of 262 feet. According to the Nature Conservancy, the level of difficulty is easy. I haven't been able to finish this trail as far as the scouting trip is concerned. Typically, Wade and I will fully scout a trail entirely, more than once usually, to capture footage for our highlight videos and whatnot, and also so that we're fully, familiar with the trail and what it entails. This one I have hiked probably about 60 to 70% of it. I haven't had the opportunity to hike the back half of this trail yet, so I'm looking really forward to doing that with you today. As far as the part of the trail that I am familiar with, I can tell you that we will take the trail lead in from the parking lot here. We'll take that on into the main trailhead for Far Hill Loop Trail, and then we're going to use that to connect over to the Crutcher Loop Trail. You've probably heard me talk about that in some of the other videos that I've done for this trail system. But today the focus is on that Crutcher Loop Trail that we're going to be eventually working our way into. And once we get there, it's just a big loop in the forest. Part of the loop is in a really heavily wooded area, and part of it is still wooded area but not quite as dense, and then part of it I haven't seen at all personally. So I'm really excited to complete this, and I'll get back with you at the end and we'll discuss what we see. All right, thanks. All right, everybody, here we go. We're heading out for the Crutcher Loop Trail at Sally Brown Crutcher Nature Preserve. It is an absolutely amazing day, especially for Kentucky this time of year. Man, it's perfect. I do a lot of hiking in the cooler months. I like to hike early spring, late fall. I like to hike in the morning when it's around freezing, and then it warms up a little bit from there so that I can start with layers and peel them off throughout the day. But today it's just perfect weather for my shorts and t-shirt. No humidity. Sunny but a little cool. It's perfect. All right. Entering into the trail system now. As you can see, it is dense in here. But so pretty. Now throughout this hike and throughout other hikes, at this same system, you'll probably hear in the background some gunshots, actually quite frequently. I'm not 100% sure what that's about, but I know that there's a national cemetery for war veterans close by and on the other side of the river. I'm assuming there's probably some type of firearm range or marksman facility or something like that nearby. So if you hear those, that's all I know. Getting a few spider webs in the face. You know, I get to my trails early, and I often come on weekdays intentionally. I like the solitude and the privacy and the quiet, but that usually translates into me being the first and only person on the trail that morning or that day. And that means you're the person breaking down all the spider webs. So I apologize for the hands if they get in the picture, but I gotta wipe those off. They'll drive you crazy. Right here is splitting the trail, and if you go off to the left there, that's going to take you on down to where you can pick up the Sally Brown Loop Trail and eventually the River Trail. Those are on another hike. Today we're going to turn right here and follow our way up to the Far Hill Loop Trail. I feel like I'm hearing some cicadas, but I don't know if that's what it is or not. So by the time this video airs or is published on our YouTube channel, you guys will probably have a faint memory of the summer and the cicada craziness on the East Coast. What's been crazy is in Lexington and the surrounding area, I haven't noticed very many at all. I mean, very few. Have some family in Cincinnati and some other places and some friends out in Maryland that say they're just crazy thick, but As you can hear or not hear, they're just, that brood is not in this part of Kentucky, it seems. All right, guys, so this is another split off of the trail. So this is the beginning to the right and the ending to the left of Hill Loop Trail. So on another video, we'll branch off to the right, take a full circle, come back around to the left. For this video, we are simply gonna head on up here to the right, and then we're gonna branch off in just a little bit in order to pick up the Crutcher Loop Trail, which is the one we're after today. Excuse my heavy breathing, guys, but I knew today would be a little challenging for me personally, getting up this hill, because, you know, I'm gonna level with you. I've let a lot of other things outside of my passion for being outdoors take priority lately. And you know, if that ever happens for you, speaking from experience, try not to beat yourself up about it too much. Just get back out there, ease back into it. It's all right. I'm really hard on myself, and I think that's human nature, but just got to remember that your best is okay. A lot of things to juggle, and that's why Wade and I do this. We want to motivate people to get outdoors, connect with nature, find that joy and that fulfillment from it. And bring some inner peace. So I have to do this every time. Every time that I hike this and get to this point, regardless of what specific trail I'm heading to, love to stop and just take in the top of Hill Loop. It's so beautiful. It's so Kentucky. And that stretch of Hill Loop that we've just hiked, from the bottom of the hill where the trail split off up to the top of the hill where we are now, That's a portion of Far Hill Loop Trail, but it's also the connector portion of Far Hill Loop Trail that we use to get to several other trails here in this system. Crutcher Loop Trail, which is the one we're doing today, that's one of them. Crutcher Trail is another, and Creek Loop Trail is another. So there are 4 trails in all. You can come out here and hike, but get to see this as a part of it. Pretty cool. All right, we're gonna keep going. Gorgeous day, gorgeous day. There are some days when you're hiking here in Kentucky that coming out from underneath that tree canopy and being exposed to that sunlight is just misery. And you know, in Vegas or southern Nevada where Wade hikes, that sunlight is brutal too. For sure, it's not to be reckoned with, but man, the humid air, the muggy dew point, it can be brutal here. I actually prefer to hike Nevada with regards to the weather, but Kentucky's beautiful. Really quickly, this is another trail split, so if we were to go off to the left right now, that's going to take us to the completion of Far Hill Loop Trail. That's another hike. It's a beautiful little hike down through a meadow bottom, but today we're going to veer to the right here. We're going to go down here and pick up the Crutcher Loop Trail. Today's feature presentation. And for quite some time from this point forward, we're going to be under canopy. So it's going to be cool and comfortable, and probably lots of spider webs in my face. But it should be very beautiful for you guys to check out. My apologies. Minor adjustments. They're necessary. Oh yeah, I'm getting the spider webs. If I actually get a spider, that'll make for some funny blooper reel, because I'm sure that this camera will jump in the air. All right, so right down here you should see 2 trees coming up. One has a pink dot on it. I'll stop so you can see. And then the one a little bit further straight ahead is the one with the yellow dot on it. So this pink dot just means that we're still on the connector portion of the Far Hill Loop Trail, which connects us to the Crutcher Loop Trail. The yellow marker on this tree lets us know that we are beginning Crutcher Loop Trail. Now you can hike this either way. You can go to the right and you'll come back out over here to the left. You can go to the left and you'll come back out over here to the right. I'm gonna go to the right because I've been on that portion, and the portion to the left is the portion that I have not seen yet. So we're gonna save that for last. We'll finish this trail right here where we're starting. Oh, spider webs, big ones. We're in a thicker part of the greenery now, so bigger spider webs. Ugh. Face height too. Nice. Just all over you. And so for if the spider web thing is freaking you out, then what I recommend is don't let that stop you from coming out here and enjoying nature. You can come out later in the day if the weather and the temperatures, if you're not as sensitive to those things as I am, just make sure that you have extra water, because you will be dealing with hotter temperatures. I prefer to combat the spider webs in exchange for cooler morning temperatures. But if you want the best of both worlds, then I suggest just pick up a small stick that's about 4 feet long, not a heavy one, maybe about as big around as your thumb, and just wave it in front of you when you're walking through areas that are this dense, just like this. Just wave it a little bit, sometimes in a circular motion, or wrap up those spider webs. Like, I don't know if you can see that on camera, but there's silk webs right in front of us, about a foot in front of the camera. You just take that stick and just mow them down, and they won't get all up in your face. So, you know, that's not like a I'm a professional tip or anything. That's just a resourceful thing that I've resorted to when the webs start driving you insane. Again, guys, sorry if my hands cross into the camera frame a lot on this trek. I'm trying not to do that as much as possible, but also trying to give you guys a realistic picture of what this hike is about. That's what these trail lights are all about. I want you to have a realistic look at what coming out here and hiking these trails is going to be like. And part of that is capturing this footage for you so that you can see what the terrain under your feet is like, what the bush and the foliage is like, what the canopy is like, how much you're exposed to the sun, how much you're exposed to the elements, etc. Part of that today is you seeing just how much I am having to wipe cobwebs off of my body. So, hey, it's just part of the real live action footage we're providing. Man, this entire system is so gorgeous. And if you follow the link to the Nature Conservancy website, which is who manages this location, this preserve, then you'll be able to see their maps. You can look at our maps on our All Trails page as well, and you will see that this entire preserve is actually two preserves, and they kind of join one another. And when you're looking at them on the map, the Crutcher Preserve is on the right, and the Sally Brown Nature Preserve is on the left. And everything that we're doing today on this video is within the Crutcher Preserve portion. And don't get me wrong, the two trails that are over on the Sally Brown side of this system are amazing. They're great. There's actually some great water features over there. You can get to the river over there. It's really awesome. But for me, this side of the system is just spectacular. I mean, it's just amazing. I love being in the woods. I love being under the canopy. It's cool. Cool as in awesome. Cool as in low temperature as well. So I just really love this side of the preserve and all the trails that are within it. And this is one of the longer ones to actually get to this one and then hike it. So I definitely recommend coming out here and exploring this entire area. But for sure, the Crutcher side of things. So right here, you can see that we're at another trail split. And you may or may not be able to see on the camera the green dot on the tree directly ahead of me. And that lets you know that that is actually one end of Creek Loop Trail. Creek Loop Trail is my favorite trail in the system. I've scouted it multiple times, and that one will be on a video coming up. We're gonna continue on straight ahead here on the yellow trail, which is Crutcher Loop Trail. And it didn't take very long, but we made it to the other end of Creek Loop Trail. So just a moment ago, just right up the top of that little rise is one end of Creek Loop Trail. And then right here is the other end of Creek Loop Trail. Again, we'll do that on another hike. As you can see, to get to Creek Loop Trail, you've got to do everything that we have done thus far. Hike into the trailheads of the system, hit Far Hill Loop Trail, hit Crutcher Loop Trail, and get down here to where you can actually pick up Creek Loop Trail. Definitely worth the trek to get to the Creek Loop Trail trailhead. And again, we'll do that on another hike. Today, we're gonna head onward on Crutcher Loop Trail. Everything is marked so well here. Directly ahead of me, you may see that tree that has a yellow dot on it. Super easy not to lose your way here. All you got to do is reference what color the trail you're hiking is on the map at the parking lot. Follow that color markings on the trees and you won't have any problems. All right, let's keep going. All right, coming up out of the forest part, just at the bottom of this big hillside, kind of in a pasture, but at the bottom of a hill. can't get over how nice it is out today. How good it feels. It may look like it, but that's not part of the trail. Gonna go back down into the trees a little bit. And in another video for Crutcher Trail, which is different from Crutcher Loop Trail that we're doing today, we used part of Crutcher Loop Trail to get there, and this is the back half of Crutcher Loop Trail that I was talking about. I haven't been on before. Normally, if you reference our maps for this trail system, to get to the Crutcher Trail, I took Far Hill Loop, and I took part of Crutcher Loop Trail on the other end to connect, but I haven't ever got to see or explore this section. So this is pretty cool. Back in the trees, and it looks a lot like Crutcher Trail. We're really close to the river. You probably can't see through the trees. On the other side, there's the Palisades, and the river's down this big drop off. We're really not far from it. It's so quiet, and at the same time it's it's not. If you listen, the wind is almost like the lungs out here, and breezing through all these trees that are up above you. It's just like a breeze comes through and they fill up and it moves out and they empty. Super cool. And the birds out here, there's so many of them. They're just providing your soundtrack. It's so funny, the vast difference between the landscape where Wade and I each live. It's why we love this. It's so awesome to get to go enjoy the outdoors with each other, even though it's in this unique way. Out there, everything is so open, so vast, so grand. So many colors, shades of colors. And here it's tight and intimate and just so alive, so green and wet and vocal. Super glad we get to provide both extremes. We should do a poll on our social media. What sound do you get most annoyed with? Rocks crunching under Wade's feet, or sticks breaking under Aaron's feet? A little watershed there. Where two hills meet. It's just kind of what happens here. Everywhere two hills meet. You'll notice I'm getting quieter and my pace has slowed just a little as well. It's just a preference thing. You know, when I explore a trail I haven't been on before, I try to remind myself to slow down, look around, take it in. And part of that is just kind of taking my thoughts inward and being with myself a little bit. All right, well, that was cool. That was the portion of Crutcher Loop Trail that I had not been on before. And now we are at another trail split. This is actually the trailhead for Crutcher Trail, which branches off of Crutcher Loop Trail, the trail that we're on. Crutcher Trail follows the river along and comes back out on the other side of Far Hill Loop Trail, on the lead in to the trail system. That's on another video, but today we're gonna head right back up this other end of Crutcher Loop Trail and finish this loop out, which will take us back up to where we started, and then we'll work our way back out of the trail system. That was Crutcher Loop Trail. We're back where we started. This is where we just came up. This is where we veered off to the right earlier. We just made one really big circle. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We're gonna head back the way we came and finish this out to the parking lot. So just come from the connector trail that connects the Far Hill Loop Trail to the Crutcher Loop Trail. Made it back up here to Far Hill Loop Trail. You could go right and complete Far Hill Loop Trail as part of this circuit. For purposes of mapping the fastest route to Crutcher Loop Trail and back, we're gonna go back the same way we came. Popping out here at the top of Far Hill Loop, where we were earlier. Give you one more look at that, because why not, right? This is just a stop and breathe and be with nature moment. And we're back at the original trail split for Far Hill Loop. This is, a moment ago I referenced you could turn right and finish out the Far Hill Loop circuit. This is where you would pop out. It's a little bit further around that way, so we just came back the way that we came, and we're going to continue the way that we came. Right this way to our left. And this little connector piece of Far Hill Loop Trail will take us back out to the original lead-in trail that will take us to the parking lot. And we're back to the original lead-in trail. We just came from the trail on the right. The trail on the left goes to the Sally Brown portion of this preserve. We're gonna keep on trucking back the way we came, toward the parking lot. All right, this trail split here, something to be aware of. Just make sure you follow your markers on the trees. You can see the tree directly ahead has a red marker. That trail to the left is the trail that we came on that we want to take back to the parking lot. This trail on the right, some type of old service road or something. It leads nowhere. Definitely feel free to explore it because it's pretty down in there, but it's not going to get you back to the parking lot. All right, guys, this is the final stretch right up to the top of this hill. We'll be back at the parking lot. I'll get the camera off my chest. We'll talk about the trail we just finished. There we have it, everybody. Crutcher Loop Trail in the books. Let us know what you think. I enjoyed it. I loved getting to do that, especially getting to do a portion of it for the first time with you guys. Like I said, I've been on portions of Crutcher Loop Trail several times thanks to the interconnectivity of these trails at this system, but getting to complete it in full was super enjoyable. Definitely enjoyed the stroll through the woods. Most of it's under canopy. Even if you come out here on a hot day, you're probably gonna have a lot of relief from that sunlight and the shade of the canopy. A lot to see, a lot to enjoy. Definitely a good trail to connect with nature on. So 100% recommend it. Appreciate you all giving us some of your time to view our TrailLight. If you haven't already, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and check out our website. Appreciate you guys. See you next time.